Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're coming up with this fun green look with the new BH Cosmetics Sweet Shoppe palette. This is their Pistachio palette. This collection dropped several weeks ago, I don't know, recently. And honestly, I wanted to grab the whole collection because it looked beautiful. So this is the look I created using this palette. I also used some new Juvia's Place lipsticks, so that's what you see on the lips. So before we jump into this review, if you're not already subscribed to my channel and you like beauty and makeup content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave today. Become part of my little YouTube family here. I would love to have you stick around, and let's go ahead and get started. I was debating whether I should do several looks or just like one main look, because really there's quite a bit that I could do with this. I could keep it more like dark and sultry and smoky, or I could do something that's a little bit lighter, shimmery, you know, whatever. I've already swatched this palette. I have a post up on my Instagram. So I'm going to pop a picture up on the screen up here and show you guys the post that I'm talking about that I put up on Instagram. If you're looking from the top of the wrist, those first two shimmers, which are these two right here, those are laid down without any kind of primer or base at all. And then you've got swatches. I used a Sonia G Worker Pro brush to pack the shadows on those swatches. So the first set of swatches is done over top of my NARS eyeshadow base. And you can just tell if you look at those swatches compared to the next set down, which is my P. Louise base. And then the set down from that, the very bottom set of swatches, is done over my Anastasia Beverly Hills base. If you look at the three, the middle set is what looks most vibrant, most punchy, like most true to color, like this palette. So that's why I chose to use my P. Louise base today, because I really want the colors to pop. I want them to be as vibrant as possible. Now, you could totally get away with using the NARS eyeshadow base if that's something you're more comfortable with. If I was going to work and I was wearing this palette, I would definitely use my NARS eyeshadow base. The P. Louise base is great for color payoff, but it doesn't wear as long. So I don't use P. Louise when I'm trying to get my makeup to last all day, because it just doesn't work that way for me. I do have oily eyelids. I'm sure that plays a large factor in that. So I'm really excited to dip into this palette. I've been staring at it. Again, you saw swatches, so I've already dipped my little fingers in there. And from what I saw from swatches, this is a very pigmented palette. Shimmers are really beautiful, and I'm excited to play with this. So I'm going to scooch on closer. We're going to lay down this P. Louise base. I'm going to be taking my Morphe M167. Sounds like a gun, doesn't it? Like, I've read that somewhere else and it's so true. These brushes are deadly weapons. Okay, I'm going to take my Morphe M167 brush just to, like, pat the P. Louise all over my lid. P. Louise base is sold, I believe, on Morphe's website now. I bought mine when it was still, like, unobtainable. I bought mine from the P. Louise website a long time ago, and I've had it for quite some time, and it lasts forever. It's such a, like, there's a lot that comes in this tube, okay? It's gonna last a long time. Unless you're doing like 10 eye looks every day, then you might go through it quickly. Otherwise, you're gonna have that shit for a while. Looks a little crazy at first, just because it's so bright compared to the rest of my face, but once I have all the eyeshadow laid down, it won't look as, like, stark, it won't look as crazy. Hopefully. Fucker. Okay, so I think what I want to do first, so my, like, knee-jerk reaction to seeing this palette is wanting to take the dark shade here and use that in my crease and to kind of blow that shade out with one of these lighter shades here, and then put shimmer on the lid. So maybe that's what I'll do. I kind of just want to play. I want to get a feel for how they work on the eyes. So let's do that. Let's take Cone or Cup. It's this really beautiful, dark kind of, I was going to say emerald green, but it's way too dark for an emerald green. It's just very dark green. Like a forest green. It's hot as balls in here. By the way, I'm trying to get better about putting, like, everything I'm wearing on my face in the description box. Sometimes I totally forget what I used. Like, I did not film the base makeup for this video. So what I did is I left it all in a pile. That way when I get done, I can write it all down and then link everything. That way you guys usually have at least one person ask me, you know, what are you wearing on this, or what bronzer is this, what blush is that. So I'm going to link everything for you guys. That way you guys don't have to question. I'm just not a very good YouTuber, okay? I'm still learning. All right, let's take cone or cup, that really deep green, and tap out the wrinkles in my lid first. That's not sexy. I'm taking a Morphe E18 brush. I really like this for stamping color on in the crease area, and then I use another brush to blow that color out. So, that's what I'm going to do. Forgot to turn the ringer off. 95 degrees outside. Gross. No thank you. So, upon looking at this palette, by the way, you can see how pigmented that is. When I first looked at this palette, I immediately thought of two other palettes. I thought of my Melt Smoke Sessions palette, which looks like that. So, the two colors in specific that jumped out at me were these two here. Matter of fact, the dark green too, the Space Queen. Let me just kind of show them up side by side here. So yeah, very reminiscent of Smoke Sessions, just this you know, this quad right here. And also, the other palette that popped into my head that is falling apart because I've dropped it probably 100 times is my Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette. Love this palette. Such a beautiful green palette. See if I can get this back up here without dropping my Huda palette again. So this one doesn't have as many like reminiscent shades, but specifically the shade up here reminds me of this shade here. And was there another one? That's about it. That's about the only shade. I feel like this is a good complementary palette to those palettes. Anyway, let's carry on. I love me some green eyeshadow, so when I saw this one, I had to have it. I'm also packing that on the outer corner here. I'm going to take my Sonia G Worker Pro Brush. This is really good for packing on color. It's also good for fluffing that color or blending that color. I'm hoping I don't get a lot of fallout with this because my makeup's already done, obviously. Very pretty so far. I like that. I think I'm going to start lightly blending this forward. That way I have some sort of a gradient between the inner and outer edge here. I'm going to take the shade Nutty, which is the other dark green in this palette, and I'm going to use this to kind of blend out the first dark green. And I'm also going to do that with the same brush, the Morphe E18, which was the first one that I used. I'm just going to wipe that prior shade off onto my pants. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place it half on and half off of that shade. I mean, so far, I feel like the pigment is there on these eyeshadows. I think I went down a little too far over here. Hopefully I can clean that up. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other shade and just drag a little bit of that forward. Now I'm going to take the lightest green in the palette, which is Soft Serve, this one down here, and I'm going to use that to go around the edges like ever so slightly. I think I want a smaller brush for this. Okay, I'm going to take, well, we're going to see how this works. I'm going to take my Morphe M507, and it's fluffy, but it's got a very tapered head on it, and it's a very small brush. And I'm dipping into Soft Serve. I'm going around the edges like very lightly and stamping and blending a little bit. Ooh. This is not a look that I do a whole lot as far as like the way I'm doing this. So This is new. I'm kind of living for that. I don't know if you guys have been able to see anything I just did because I was looking down. I'm living for it. Okay, so I know I've done a lot of cut creases here lately, but y'all, I have to. I have to with this one. So I really want to throw the shade Sweet Life right here on that inner part of my lid. I think that will look really nice as a cut crease. I almost thought about just doing the matte, doing soft serve. I don't do a whole lot of like all matte looks, but I really want to play with some of these shimmers for you guys as well. So instead of going into a concealer to cut the crease, I'm going to use my NYX glitter primer because since I am using a shimmery pigment, I want it to stick. I want it to be as vibrant as possible. And this stuff works really well for that. So I'm going to go ahead and squirt some of this on the back of my hand here. It's kind of how I like to set it up. And I'm going to use a concealer brush. This is my Morphe M124. This is typically the brush I do this with, just because the way the head is shaped on this brush, I can get like those really nice cut crease shapes. And we're going to start laying her down. Alright, now I'm dipping into Sweet Life on my finger, because that's typically the best payoff for any shimmer. Oh man. Wow. Y'all see that? I know you do. Ooh, doggy. Okay, now I'm going to use that concealer brush to get right up along that edge that I carved out. This is pretty. Wow, look at that shimmer, would you? This is not my first BH Cosmetics palette. I've actually had plenty of BH Cosmetics palettes in the past, and this quality is on a whole nother level. So I don't know what they're doing with their formula, but they need to keep doing it. Wow. And that was like so easy. Nothing about this look was difficult at all. I want to make that mesh a little bit better. Wow, I am so impressed with this. Like, genuinely impressed with this. This is good. This is really good. I can't speak for the other palettes. Obviously, the only one I have is this one, but would you look at this? Would you just look at it? I'm so excited about this. I'm going to hop off camera. I'm going to do the other eye, and then we'll do something on the bottom to kind of blow that color out some more. I screwed it up a little bit right here. I don't know if you guys can really even tell. Yeah, a little bit. I can tell, and it's really bugging the shit out of me. I can't speak for the other color stories. All I have is this green one, but I'm super impressed with the pigmentation, the way they blend. The shimmer shades are beautiful. Like, this is blowing my mind. BH Cosmetics has really stepped it up with this formula. So what I'm going to do now is take some of the colors I blended out up top. I'm going to smoke them out underneath, and then we'll go from there. All right, so now I'm going to take the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Eyeliner in the shade I Screamin'. I think that's what that says. Anyway, I think this will give it a nice touch having that yellow eyeliner. So that's what I'm going to do. Oh yeah. Ooh, I'm living for this. Oh, I love it. I love these eyeliners from LA Girl. They are so good. They're so affordable. And they just really add something extra to your eye look. Ooh, I like that. Okay, next I'm going to take the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. We're going to throw that on the top and bottom lashes. we're going to be done with this look. Actually, I have one more product that I want to share with you guys today. It's a brand new product. Okay, so this is the finished eye look, and I am so pleased with this palette. Like, you guys have no idea how bad I want to pick up the rest of this collection. These are $18 a piece, which is a little bit pricey for BH, but I'm here to tell you, it's for good reason. I mean, you get what you pay for when it comes to certain things, and I'm just truly blown away by these shadows. Alright, so the next thing that I wanted to show you guys, I did pick up 2 of the new lipsticks from Juvia's place. And I haven't actually tried these on the lips yet, so this will be a first impression with you guys, just like the palette is. I got 2 shades. I picked up the shade 2020 because, let's be honest, 2020 has been a real bitch. And I'm hoping the lipstick's better. So these are, I think, aimed more towards a deeper skin tone. But these 2 shades I felt like could work for me also. So this is what the shade 2020 looks like. These are a matte formula. And when I first got them, I smelled them, and you know what they remind me of? Not just the smell, but the look. Reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty, is it the Power Matte lipsticks? But they look the exact same as far as the texture of the lipstick. They're matte, and they have this kind of like, this butteriness about, I don't know how to explain it. If you own these, you know what I'm talking about. But the Juvia's Place lipsticks look the exact same as far as the texture is concerned. I'm really excited to try these on. So that was the shade 2020. The second shade I picked up is Me. I do like the packaging on these. That also reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty ones, except for Juvia's Place is a little bit bigger, but still kind of the same concept. They're like the square packaging. I like the pink. This one is the shade Me. It doesn't look like there's really that much of a difference between the two, but when I swatched them, I could definitely see a difference. I'm going to try the lighter one first. Let's see what that looks like. So this one again is 2020. I should probably use a lip liner. So for lip liner, I'm going to use my KKW Beauty lip liner in the shade 0.5 Nude. This just works for my skin tone. It works for my lips. Oh, it reminds me a lot of the Huda Beauty one. It feels pretty much the same. Which is not a bad thing. Very buttery, very matte, very comfortable on the lips. Ooh, I kind of like that. I don't know if it really goes with the eye look I have on. Let me try to mix in a little bit of the shade Me and see what happens here. I'm not going to be able to try on both because I really don't want to screw up the rest of this look. So Me is more of like a deeper undertone. It's not as mauve-y. Ooh, I really like that. So I mixed the two. That's kind of where we're at. Let me just show you on the back of my hand a swatch then, since I didn't really get to show you Me on its own. I think these are really pretty. I don't know how it's going to wear like throughout the day. Obviously, I just put it on, but I like the way it feels on my lips, and it looks really nice. I don't think I really need to give you guys like my final thoughts on this palette. You guys already know. I'm in love with this. I really like the way that they applied to my lids. I really like the eye look I created. I feel like the quality of these shadows is just next level for BH, and I really hope to see more palettes with this formula in the future. So you guys will have to let me know down below. Are you guys interested in picking up any of the Sweet Shoppe collection from BH Cosmetics? And if so, which ones are you most interested in? Did you already pick up any of them? Also, let me know down below. If you're a fellow creator here on YouTube, let me know if you guys are planning on reviewing this. I would love to see your all's thoughts on these palettes. I want to see if you guys love them as much as I do. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Of all the things that you could do with your time, you chose to spend a little bit of that time with me, and I'm very grateful for that. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you like it. It lets me know that you like it. That way I know what kind of videos you guys like seeing from me. If you're not already subscribed and you made it this far in the video, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, that way you don't miss any of my future uploads, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.